Hello my Beatles friends, welcome back to another video. And it's not going to be about Beatles, it's not going to be a good, happy video, because I have bad news. I heard only today. The legendary Brian Wilson passed away, so I decided, just to make a short video about it. The legendary musician whose genius and legend status you cannot deny. Born 1942, only 2 days after Paul McCartney, which was easy to remember. And he died on 11th, which is 8 or 9 days before his 83rd birthday. I know that he was not very healthy, but I don't want to get into that. I have to admit that I wasn't, really a huge fan of Beach Boys. I always, I avoided them, and they were like outsiders for me. But having known that they have so many great albums, so many great songs, and inevitably I got into them. And I began listening to their songs, to their albums, especially Pet Sounds. And I didn't really like it at the first listen. But, with years, you start to grow and you start to understand, you start to like it, And I just began listening to Beach Boys only like 3-4 years ago. And I have to admit that, it's a bit shame that I didn't start listening to them earlier. But still, the level of influence and the genius and the songwriting and the talent of this man, you simply cannot deny. He's one of the best, and he's on the same level as the legendary Beatles, Rolling Stones, Pink Floyd, and everybody else. I mean, he influenced so many albums. He's the guy who influenced Beatles to write Sgt. Pepper. I mean, what else can you say about that? So I decided to show you some albums. I have only like 6 or 7 Beach Boys albums that I, found in recent years. This is the best of Beach Boys. I think it's the German compilation. And here is the earlier albums, earlier songs from earlier albums. Beautiful picture. Another compilation, but this is already official British Get on the Lofthouse issue. And this is Best of Beach Boys Volume 3. And I want to show you the label of this one. Beautiful capital label. And it's sold in UK, so it's a British one on Capitol. So it's a very interesting combination of the two. What else do I got? I have here another British copy, also made by Garden Lofthouse. This is the first live album, the concert. And I want to show you the label of that too. So it's as well on Capitol and sold in UK, but it's a different design. So I found these 2 original UK pressings. I also have this German compilation, and I bought this one only solely for the song Good Vibrations, because I know that song was also recorded during the Pet Sounds sessions, but it was not included in the album. So I bought only this one for Good Vibrations. I also have this album, Surf's Up. Some people say that a couple of songs here, especially the last 3 songs, are one of the best written by him, so I decided to get this one. I also have from London, I also have this single, Wouldn't It Be Nice, and God Only Knows. This is the Beatles kind of design. I was looking for Beatles records and I found this one, so I said, hey, gotta grab this one. And, what else could it be? The most important record of Beach Boys for me is the Pet Sounds. This is the original first pressing, the American one. American or... No, German, sorry. This is the first pressing, German press. And this is the label. I actually have 2 copies of this, and I'm pretty sure they are absolutely similar. This is the front, this is the back, and this is the same label. So I was able to find 2 copies of the same album, and I have to admit that I'm listening to this album quite often, and I really start to like it. And sometimes I think, why did I ignore them for so long? And start to appreciate when they're gone. This is one of the bands that you start to appreciate late in life. Okay, so sad news: Brian Wilson passed away, but this album lives forever. And I'm gonna keep those in my collection, and I'm gonna get some new albums of Pet Sounds. Now it's time, unfortunately. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. Rest in peace, Brian Wilson, and his music will live forever.